So hi, everybody, and welcome to this conversation. We're going to talk about the Master of Health Professions Education, and this is a chance for you to really learn a few more things about the program if you're curious to explore, and above all, to hear from some of the students in the program that have actually gone through it and can share some experience from this program. So before I go any further, I would like to introduce you to Dr. Campbell, who is really the person behind this program and who made this all come true. Correct, Dr. Campbell? Do you want to share a little bit about what
I am the program director. We created this program as an opportunity for clinicians who are interested in teaching or who are teaching to learn to be better teachers and leaders, both in clinical medicine and in education. Our participants are clinicians mostly, or people involved in health professions education programs who want to be better at teaching and managing change, helping programs thrive through our crazy evolving environment. The best advocates for the programs are the people who've been through it. And so I'm really glad that Tom and Kim have agreed to be here and talk a little bit about why they enjoyed the program, why they applied, or anything.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. So Dr. Motika, Dr. Tots, let's go to Dr. Totsi. How about you? Let's hear about your thoughts and what made you apply to start.
Sure. Well, I practice internal medicine, primary care in a rural community here in North Carolina. And we are also preceptors for third and fourth year Campbell University medical students. And the whole world of medicine and how learning has changed from when we all went through it. So that was part of the reason that I applied to the program, because I wanted to be able to help our students, and I felt it could help me develop into become a better preceptor for those students. So that was the part of the reason for doing it. We also own our own medical practice, so it has been helpful from that standpoint too. Some of the different things that we've learned throughout the course of this past year.
We're going to come back to what you did learn and hear some of those key learnings that you take away. But Dr. Motika, I want to hear from you too. What made you apply to this program?
Well, it's really pretty much what Dr. Caprilian said the program offered. It's all three. Was it three elements you talked about? I think it might have been three. But for me, it's probably three. One is to be a better educator, because I'm involved. I'm a primary care internist as well, but I'm also involved in teaching at the medical school. And so I'm doing a lot of curriculum development and working with different folks in a variety of different environments and courses. So I want to be able to help those courses improve and to help the other faculty improve, in fact, as well. So that's one. And then I think there's some components of the program that involve how organizations work and stimulating organizational change. And I think that's really important to understand as well. So that was part of it. And I think learning a little bit more about the research methods was also part of it as well. And what was the other one? So there's the organizational change, educational curriculum design and educational theory, and like how to be a better teacher. And then research methods, but I think there were some other elements as well that were attractive to me. I'm sure they'll come to me if I.
There was a lot, right?
There's an awful lot. There's a lot of subjects covered. Yeah, a lot of subjects covered in the program.
So I want to. So it seems like for both of you, there was the component of learning, which really a big component in understanding learning today and education today, right? But what were some of your personal takeaways or highlights in terms of learning from the program? And Dr. Totsi, do you want to go ahead there?
Well, I think one of the first things that that we did early on with the first semester, if you would, was the immunity map. For me, that was a big turning point when we discussed the immunity map and what big assumptions are, because I really feel like I was able to take that not only to learn about myself, but understand maybe how other people might view things, whether I'm incorporating that into my practice with my patients, why they may or may not want to take medicines or do things that you would like them to do for better health, or whether you're struggling with a student, what could be going on with that particular medical student that you have in your practice. Do they have a fear of failure or a fear that they don't have enough knowledge to move forward in our situation, the outpatient setting? So that was one big thing. And I think about it and I carry my immunity map around with me from class to class. But that was one thing that was really helpful for me.
Oh, that's awesome. And just for anyone who's listening to this talk, immunity map is actually a pretty interesting and really, as you can hear from Dr. Totsi, effective way of looking at how individual change or take on change, right? Or the behavioral approach or response to a change. Yeah. What about you, Dr. Motika?
Well, I think there were so many parts of that first course that related to leadership that stimulated so much introspection and sort of discussion among the students in the class, so that we kind of got to know each other and our communication styles. And then you kind of I can't point to one thing about the course, but Tina, that overall course on leadership was really a highlight, because it really stimulated me to think about how I function within an organization, both in an introspective way, but also in a reflective way on how organizations work and how to change them. I'm always interested in making things better.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Not always an easy task in an organization.
No, change is never easy, right?
But I would add the second kind of overall highlight for me was to in the actual education component of it. I really enjoyed learning a different way to teach, a way where you stimulate learners to want to learn, rather than the mode that I kind of came up in medicine, where someone spewed information at you, and trying to learn different methods of stimulating people to be more active, more proactive, and it works better. It works better. And so that, like, globally, that's probably the biggest change of that the program induced in me.
So it sounds to me that you both are mentioning things that you are having very direct application to what you're currently doing in your profession. So that's great, because if it's just theoretical, it's going to be hard, right? So it's good to have those tools and those directly applicable ways. So before we move on, because we're going to end in just a few minutes, but I want to hear from you. Why do you think someone should apply to this program? And Dr. Motika, I'm going to come to you.
I'll go ahead. I think you should apply to this program if you're interested in becoming a better teacher, becoming a better educator, or even in fact, becoming a better functioning part of whatever system you're functioning in the medical system. I can't emphasize enough that it like, I would say everyone that I work with, I would like them to do this program. I think I've actually referred quite a few people to do this program because I think the more knowledgeable people are about how to be an educator, the better we're all going to work together. And then, secondly, I'd say professional advancement. If you want to move up, move forward, move around to different positions, having this kind of credential, I think, is very beneficial. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Dr. Totsi? What are your thoughts?
I have to agree with all that you said. And I also think it allows for personal growth as well, because sometimes we can become, especially when you're I'm not as involved in education in the classroom setting. So my whole world is outpatient medicine, and you can become very stagnant. And it's very nice to interact with others from different backgrounds. And I think that's one thing, especially during COVID, that we found helpful in our cohort is just we could vent to each other as well. We could hear what was going on in different parts of the state or how other people were handling things. And it was just a nice way to have that personal and professional development, but also make other contacts, within our state.
That's awesome.
Can I just second that quickly?
Yes.
The course does stretch you quite a bit in ways that you might not be used to stretching professionally and so forth, in a nice, comfortable way. But it does pull you out of. I'll second what Dr. Totsi said. It does pull you out of a lot of patterns that you may.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to go to Dr. Kapelian because I think you want to add some words as well to what we're talking about here.
I just wanted to follow up on what Tom said. We try to stretch you a little bit, but the program has also been surprisingly supportive. I wasn't sure how it would work in the fully online format, but the students, because we have synchronous classes and we talk regularly, the students have really gotten to know one another and support one another. And Kim's cohort has been a model through the pandemic of helping one another. And that's been a great benefit.
Yeah, I think my impression is that there are friendships that are formed for life as well in the cohorts that we've seen and we've met so far. So so much there for anyone who joins to be part of. Well, this is the end of our conversation. I hope that this was something that you triggered your interest and you want to know more. And we're going to post a link where you can go to understand learn more and maybe apply to this program, which you can hear from two of our students is absolutely something that is worth your time. Any departing comments before we hang out for tonight?
No, thanks. Thanks for the conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, go in and search information on the link that we're going to provide for you at the end of this conversation. Thank you so much. Good night.